right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
One Outs, episode 19.
The
cheating team.
Yes, the BlueMars team. They are cheating by stealing the signs. This is a very common cheating strat in professional baseball, but it is something that is very difficult to, pull off, and or prove when it's happening.
Right.
Because it's something that is also just decent observation, but it's about whether or not that can actually be translated immediately to the batter based on what the pitcher is throwing. But somehow they're doing it.
Right.
And given that this is their stadium, there's some way that they're doing it. And rather than finding out exactly how they're going to do it, Toua's like, well, then we'll just fuck with them now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So let's see how they do it. And if they have any additional cards of ways to cheat that they can pull out after Toua defeats this particular method.
Yeah, because they figured out the deal with the knuckleball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be its own thing there, but we won't have to deal with that right now. But dealing with them potentially having more ways of cheating, which I definitely think there will be, I would love to see Toua actually pull like a 2 out of 3 wins for this series. Unless this is a 4 series deal, that would be 4 game series. That would be interesting. But given that they've already lost 1 game, I would like to see what comes about with them, like potentially being close to losing another one. Because there's no immediate advantage they have, even with knowing the ways that they're cheating, short of calling them out on cheating.
Right, but then how do you prove that? Because they can't actually find the people or persons or devices or whatever it is that's alerting them and letting them spy on their signs.
So. All right, let's figure this out. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into it.
Hint. Sure.
Right, which means that it's something that at any other place they would catch, or it's something that they can't move.
Sure.
Yeah, we kind of did too, but... So what do you think it is then?
They could have multiple ways of communicating.
Yeah. But that's not true. Yeah, it's the catcher. Yep.
Right. And everyone's focus is there.
BlueMars 選手の交代をお知らせします。ピッチャー吉国に代わりまして染川背番
He got like driven out there. That's interesting.
離れた選手に信号を送るには2通りの方法がある。まず体の一部を触るフラッシュサイン。
Right.
例えば口に触ればバント、ベルトに触ればエンドラン。例えば顎に触るのがキーサインと決まっていた場合、次に出されたサインが本物ってわけさ。そう、さっきの小島さんの打席、向こうはこっちが送っているサインを完全に読み切ってシフトを変えてきた。
そこまで分かってんならもう少しじゃねえか。もうちょっと揺さぶってみるか。
さあ、染川の投球練習が終わり。
Okay.
How are they going to do that, though?
That's the Ichiro lead off there for the at-bat.
At the very beginning?
さあ、染川第1球。投げた。おっと、なんと荒いバントの構え。しかしこれは見送った。
見ましたか？
Yeah.
Okay.
They moved.
今のはきっと監督のサインミスだよな。そうだ、それに違いない。2球目はそんなことは。
絶対成功するから騙されたと思ってやってみなって。
But
セーフティー。
that one's already been stolen, so they don't need to communicate anymore for it.
俺の口車に乗って無謀なサインを平気で出してる。あの唇デブだろ。
言えてる。
あ、荒い、またもバント。しかしこれは不運。前進してきたサード真正面。
Yeah. Yeah.
無謀とも言えるセーフティーバント、やはり失敗。
今のは転がったコースが悪かっただけさ。
くそ、貴重なワンアウト無駄にしまったい。まったく。
無駄じゃねえよ。
So what'd you
見
see?
えたんだよ。奴らの闇信号のトリックが。お前ら重大な勘違いをしてるな。
勘違い？
闇信号が発信されたら野手はその発信場所を必ず見る。不思議でもなんでもない。奴ら信号を見る必要なんてないのさ。
They're hearing it?
信号の正体は音だからな。
Wow.
Okay.
それって
Nice.
最悪じゃん。音の信号ったってこのスタジアムの中ですよ。数限りない雑音が飛び交っている中から音の闇信号を探し当てるなんて
There's one thing
絶
that
対
cuts
不可能で
through.
すよ。
そうでもねえんだな。探しようあるのさ。人間の習性ってやつを利用すればな。
修正？
人間って生き物は思いがけない情報を耳にしたとき、思わずその発生源を見る習性がある。
確かに。
It breaks through all the noise
まさかお前、小島さんや新井さんの
to make sure that the opponents
Make them
didn't
be
look
surprised,
そ
anywhere.
の
yeah.
通り。普通ならありえない作戦。当然ブルーマーズの奴らは内心自分の聞き間違いじゃないかって思う。
見たのか、奴ら。
さすがにイカサマ野球の熟練どもだ。動揺はしても顔の向きまでは変えない。
Okay.
ところがあっちの若手
One
の
of
佐
them,
藤。
the newest
今
player,
シーズンからショートに入ったやつだけは修正を抑えられなかった。
to the left.
佐藤は信号源を見たんだな。
ああ、3度もな。間違いねえ。闇信号が出ているのはあそこだ。
If we remove all the cheaters over there, will we finally win?
左側客席。
なんてこった。
これだけ無関係な雑音の方が多い中で、いつ飛ばされるかわからない敵の信号音をキャッチして突き止めるのは至難の技だぞ。
あんたさ、奴らの信号って必要な時にだけ突破。
There's that one person with a megaphone or something that they're using, but
ましてや守備をやりながら突発的な信号を完璧に受信するなんて無理な話だ。だが守りのフォーメーションを指示する信号は野手が一人でも聞き逃したら
Sure.
意味がない。逆に言えば奴らは全員が確実に受信できる方法で信号を飛ばしてるってことだ。ブルーマーズの選手は常にこの出っ放しの信号を意識してプレーしている。で、必要な時にこの信号が変化する。俺が示した場所周辺の音、よーく注意してみろ。
Okay.
is it actually gonna be the girl that was like,
Peanuts and all that?
yeah, yeah,
It might be.
yeah. Oh, okay,
It's the
yeah,
drum!
太鼓。
Yep!
yeah.
俺の言ったことが正しいかどうか、自分の目で確かめてみるんだな。
No,
Right.
this is the last one.
マジっすか。バントのサインが出た。
俺バント下手なのに。
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep.
3回連打の繰り返しでバント警戒のサインなんだ。
Man,
だから言わんこっちゃね
リカオンズ連続バント失敗で3アウト。結局この回
It's still early in the game. We have to bait them and thinking we don't know it.
ストライク、バッターアウト。ストライク、バッターアウト。
Toua does his thing.
Yep.
ストライク、バッターアウト。
This guy at least swung on the third strike. Yeah,
And they'd actually want to stall this out to the very end if they
簡単なことさ
could.
right.
俺がまた唇デブにセーフティーバントのサインを出させる。連中はそのサインを盗んでバントシフトを引いてくる。その裏を書いてミートで。
Hit the all. Yep. Hit a nice base hit.
いや確かに俺が出れば闇信号の裏を書いて奴らを陥れることができると思う。だがな。
だが
問題は監督だ。ダメダメダメダメダメったらダメ。バントなんてありえん。
やっぱりね。
おい、おっさん、おい頭ごなしにダメダメ言わずに俺の話を聞け。
All right, I'm gonna explain it to you.
お前の話なんかその気になる。
Wow.
だからさっきのは。
さっきもキツツキもない。俺にはアウトカウント6つしか残ってないんだぞ。たくないんだよ。
そうなんだよ。
バガブーズ戦で三原監督がオーナーに逆らって徳地君を続投させたの。
で、あいつの年俸っていくらよ？
ここ数年契約更新はないから確か6000万だ。あ、間違いない。
ってことは今日落とすと3000万か。
さい、ブルーマーズの信号
No, can't do that.
監督
You'll
の
fuck it up.
話だ
Yeah.
いや、井出口に突き指して治療したいとか言って時間稼ぐように言え。唇デブは俺が説得する。
なんだよこんなところ呼び出して。だいたいお前おかしいよ。
I'm gonna pay you.
なんでそう
You're my bitch now.
Right.
勝てるからさ。俺の言う通りにやればな。バントは最初の一手。俺のプランには続きがある。それで 100% 勝つ。
100%.
I don't believe you.
そこまで言うなら聞かせてもらおうか。
Oh.
あるんだろ、素晴らしい必勝策が。
Tell me what it is.
それはない。
はあ、なんだそりゃ。
わけのわかんねえバント繰り返しよりマシだい。
わけのわかんないバントね。常識人のあんたにはザレ事にしか思えないかもしれんが、俺には絶対の自信がある。全部で5000万ある。俺のプラン通りに試合をやってくれたら、これをそっくりあんたにやるよ。ただし、俺の作戦がハマって、今日明日2つとも勝ったら、このうち4000万を返してもらう。もし今日か明日の試合、どちらか一つでも落としたら、
Whoa. You always take this deal.
Right.
君、自分が何やってるか分かってる？本気は分かるよ。それにしたって。5億。負け越したら年俸半分で3000万マイナス。だがここで特殊の要求を飲めば負け越しても5000万手元に入るから差し引き2000万のプラス。勝ち越せば4000万と口に返しても俺の年俸は変わらずだからプラス1000万。
You can't lose. This is perfect.
まだかね。
はい、すいません。もう少しです。
徳地、まだかよ。
監督は
さあね。
さあねって。
Like a puppet on strings.
Yeah, he's just a toy soldier, you
Yeah,
know?
that's right.
Yep.
God, that smile. That still could be a problem.
リカオンズ監
The
督
chain! Yes!
才川オーナーの犬である。しかし
The chain is held.
この2試合に限り徳地東亜の犬となった。
Oh, don't end the episode.
Oh, come
That's
on.
such a
Come
such
on.
a cock move.
Like,
Wow.
we didn't even get to see any of it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we basically ended in the same place as the previous episode. We just know what it is they're going to be doing.
And how the sign stealing works.
Right.
It was the fucking drum.
Yep.
It was the
A
drum.
little drummer boy. All right.
And then changing up the tempo. I'm astonished I didn't catch that. Because they were giving us the hint that it was a sound-based thing by focusing on like the girl with the peanuts and stuff.
Right.
But the drum was going throughout that entire bit.
Uh-huh.
It was. I remember it
I
clearly.
believe so, yeah.
And it definitely was changing up the tempo every once in a while, but it felt like it was more of the like, oh, we're getting excited. We're ramping up to things there. And also, it's really tricky when you're watching an anime where something like that can be part of the background noise for the actual soundtrack, because it's like it's a literal musical instrument. So it's like,
right,
which one is it? But
hey, there
at this
you go.
point, it made it very clear that it was the drum,
and
because they didn't let us hear Peanuts Girl or
exactly
any of the other things.
Right,
going on
because
noise-wise.
if it's going to be something noise wise, it would have to be something that is also kind of obvious to the team, because they would have to be able to hear it as well, right? And the idea that no, you can't just have a signal, you need to have a baseline signal too, because otherwise you could miss it, and then
well, even more so, it's easier to tell that they're cheating, because if it just starts only when the signal needs to be stolen,
That might work if it's like someone in the crowd that's somehow like being able to cheer or something like that, but you won't hear that.
No,
right?
but that's the thing, Jacob. Like, apparently, just recently, there was a big controversy in the MLB where a team was caught on camera stealing signals.
Really?
Yes, really. And there's a couple teams apparently that are like much more known for this type of cheating, but they're never caught, basically.
Okay.
But there was a team that full on had someone doing the cheating, and the camera just happened to focus on them in game, and all the players, not the players, the people in the stands saw it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's the kind of thing where you cannot make it even slightly obvious because people are legitimately looking, like people are there specifically to look for that kind of shit as well.
Right.
So if you make it even sus a little bit, your team can get in big trouble. So they're going to start this whole thing there with that team. But okay, it's the drum. It's something that's audio based. It's something that the team can manipulate,
and it's fairly cheap.
It's fairly cheap, but it's something that makes sense as to why it wouldn't necessarily work in other stadiums. Because for one, you have to bring the drum in.
Right.
It's a big, bulky thing that has to go through security and all that. And there's a very real possibility they'd be like, are you a part of some kind of band or what have you? No?
Right.
Okay, then you're not allowed to bring this in.
Yeah.
So it would be the kind of thing where the team would have to bring it in. And if they're bringing it into another stadium, they're going to get inspected just in general, just like any other team probably would.
Sure.
And be like, what's this drum here for?
Right.
Like, well, it's part of our, cheer squad or what have you. And be like,
right.
Okay, cool. So have it be, you're in the dugout or what have you. Or
right. Or it's just the thing of like,
with it.
Oh, like there's a reason there's the home field advantage thing, right? It's like, oh yeah, most of the time people are cheering for, the team whose field it is, right? It's not like I can't imagine that a baseball team would be able to afford bringing like a cheer team with them, you know.
The baseball teams are super wealthy. Like,
oh yeah,
they could do all kinds of stuff like that. And lots of teams are different in how they express their little things there. But the idea that this guy is actually a player, like he's very clearly a player here.
Oh, okay.
This is not a fan doing this. This is
right,
someone that they're
exactly.
paying. It's
Yes.
a part of the organization. Yep. He's literally wearing a fan hat,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks like a young baseball player.
Right. And he's got and regardless of whether or not he plays the sport or not, he's definitely on the payroll of the team, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. But that's like something that I think you would absolutely get called out on quicker at another field's team.
Yeah.
At another team's field. Yeah.
Yes, that does make a lot of sense. But
all right.
Okay.
I mean, other than that, though, this episode basically just gave us a goofy little thing where the manager is now going to be on Toua's payroll of sorts. And because Toua is always going to succeed at this, he just needs to give him just enough money that he'll want to do this again in the future games.
Exactly.
So he's giving him basically $10 million to win the next 2 games.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, hey, from his perspective, that's great. You know?
Yeah, from Toua's perspective, that's basically nothing because that's $100,000.
Right.
Okay. $100,000. Yeah, and he's...
Like, he already, like...
He's in the billions right now, right?
Well, he hasn't gotten paid any of the stuff
from
the one-house contract.
But that's even, where he's at right now.
Right, and just from the stuff that he got from, like, Kojima at the very beginning of the show. You know, it's like, drop in the bucket, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything.
No problem.
But imagine now the owner comes to the manager and is like, hey, so we're going to, clean the slate. We'll start fresh again.
Yep.
And the manager's going to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But just doesn't.
Just
doesn't care. And is like, no. This guy
don't
pays
own me.
This guy pays me a little bit better than you. He actually raised, my thing here.
Oh, yeah,
so
he could try and even use that of like, I mean, Toua started paying me to do stuff and it's working out just fine. Or he could just be like, no. I think I'm doing just great.
Well, the owner can still just fire him. So we need to be careful in that regard. The owner is still paying him the
right.
What was it? 30 or 60 million.
60 million. Yeah.
Right.
600K, Okay. So
that's a good salary.
That's a good salary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of impressive that you could have someone. Well, yeah, it's because he had him as his dog that, someone this incompetent would be able to keep a job with that much money coming in.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is that this is a team that has a lot of money behind them, but they're not necessarily that good. So having a bad manager, that's not a surprise necessarily.
Sure, that could be one of the reasons that they haven't been doing well recently. Yeah,
that there's just general, like, not corruption, but like wasted money in the...
It's not a well-oiled machine, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The owner needs to be a bit more careful about who he brings into the organization.
But this is something that is not breaking the 1 ounce contract. So Toua is perfectly fine in doing this.
Yep. In fact, the idea of making deals within deals of the team, that's going to get into some fun stuff where they could eventually have deals going outside the team.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that gets into baseball rules of where things can get,
right,
you know, break the rules.
As far as the 1
regard.
ounce contract, you know, as long as you don't tell anybody about the contract, it's fine.
You can do whatever you want on your own team.
And that could get into some fun territory where then the owner gets even deeper into something he can't reasonably pay.
Sure.
Because, you know, the amount that he's already paying, you know, going to need to pay Toua is a ridiculous amount. By the time the season's over, that will be much, much higher.
Right.
If he has to then pay other people for things that he does to try and sabotage Toua.
Oh, God, yeah.
No. You need to go to Vegas every once in a while and just bring a small amount of cash so that you can learn this kind of lesson. You don't do that shit.
Oh, that too. I was meaning that Toua could make deals as well. Like, obviously, the owner could do that.
And if it
Toua
gets to that,
do it as well.
Toua, I could see reaching a point where he actually has more leverage and capability to do that than even the owner, potentially.
Because the owner is digging his own grave, basically. Here.
He has more money now, but...
in the future.
Right.
And given that we are very slowly going through this season, like we've done, 3 series of games plus any, beginning game, preseason stuff. A typical baseball season has a lot of games. So we're still a ways away from any kind of payout for Toua.
Even though we've just been hitting like the highlight ones, there are gaps in between series sometimes and things like that.
For sure.
Yeah. Toua will have to go a while.
Yeah. But all right, this is a pretty straightforward episode. Let's now see Ideguchi, I believe, actually like pull off a base hit here to set up then Kojima for a big home run. That would
be awesome.
I think one of the coolest ways is that the safety bunt is a way to get someone on base with the fake out here. And while they will definitely still rely on the calls, they probably will doubt the safety bunt. So they'll have to do something else, which will be based on like, certain types of swings or certain types of attempts so that they can guarantee certain pitching types from the pitcher so that the batter can then respond accordingly, knowing, they're going to throw a changeup probably here.
Right. The first time that it happens, they could maybe not clue into anything because, it's been happening a lot. We had one instance of the batter like hesitating and being like, I don't want a safety bunt, this is a bad idea.
Right. So this would be a batter rebelling against
the
coach.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So he manages to get a lucky hit. Okay, whatever. Right. But on the second time around,
which is why this is going to have to be a thing where Toua is going to have to make the team look like they're fighting against the coach's calls. That's going to be cool. Because Toua is going to have to sell the story to the other team that they haven't figured out that they're stealing the signs.
Right.
But that the team is upset with the coach's incompetence, which is hilarious because that's going to look extra funny to the owner who's going to look at the manager and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? And the manager's going to be like,
it worked, didn't it?
We won, and but they were specifically not following your calls.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing where...
Or will the owner even notice that?
I don't know. Like, it's the sort of thing where I was really expecting that once Toua figured this kind of thing out, that he wouldn't keep giving the same bogus ploy. Because, safety bunts this many times in a row and it's not working. The other team might just clue in that they're fishing to try and find out what the stealing is, Well,
also, you don't safety bunt here.
Right.
You just don't. It's not even a safety bunt technically because there's no one on base.
Right. So it's like, that seems very sus right out.
As far as I know, at least,
out the gate. So like you would think that Toua would have like changed it up just to keep the illusion up and then like save the bunt thing for, when they were actually going to use it.
Yeah, I think this is also to try and give the people watching a very like step-by-step process to this whole thing, so that when we go full, sicko mode basically in the next episode, that it's like, okay, now we don't need any setup, we just go.
Right. It's easy to follow along with it. Yeah.
Right. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We do streams every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.